Hello everyone, and welcome back to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we're here with Laura Zentmeier from Redox Signaling Molecules. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. So let's get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do and all that fun stuff.
I'm a 50-year-old mom who lives in Hanover, New Hampshire, and I serve as an ambassador for a biotech company that makes Redox Signaling Molecules.
Okay.
And redox signaling molecules are something that's native to your body. People say, what's native and what's natural? So natural is like blueberries and bananas.
Yeah.
Native means it's already in every single one of your cells. Your mitochondria make this, and it's fundamental in the healing process, but as you get older, you make less of it. They say every decade you're making about 10% less than you were the last decade. And it's fundamental in the healing process, and that's why it takes longer for an older person to heal than a younger person.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let's get into it.
All right.
So talk about the product. And
It works in a few ways. It basically makes your cells more efficient. And the company will say, we don't claim to cure anything at all, but we make your cells work better so that they can do their job. And it works in a few ways. It improves your cellular communication between and within the cells, so they can detect and repair and replace damaged cells. And I like to use analogies. The analogy I use for that is, like, say your house is burning down and you've got a cell phone and you want to call the fire department. Do you want 1 bar or do you want 5 bars on your cell phone? Like, you want an efficient communication system. You want to get the messages through. And so it helps your cells communicate. It also boosts your glutathione, which is a really great antioxidant. And a lot of people who have all sorts of medical issues, there's a common denominator that there's deficiency in glutathione. So people are taking glutathione supplements and trying to eat foods with the glutathione. It's not necessarily absorbed all that efficiently if you do that. And it turns out that your liver makes a ton of it anyway. It's just not activated. And that's what your redox signaling molecules from your mitochondria do. The analogy I like to use for that is, if you were going to go into a dark room and you're carrying a box of light bulbs and they're not turned on, the light bulbs are like the antioxidants. They're just floating around in your body. And the redox signaling molecules is like the electricity. So once the redox signaling molecules turn on your antioxidants, then they can be effective. And then what's really exciting, they just came out with this science last year, and this product has been on the market since 2009, and they knew it worked. They knew it helped so many people, tens of thousands of people get better. It also helps athletes. So they say it helps the fittest of the fit and the people who have health challenges, and then people who just want to be incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. And so they knew it worked, but they didn't really know why. Now they do. It actually activates 5 genetic pathways, so it turns on 5 genes. I didn't know that genes could be turned off when I heard about this, but apparently, like, toxins in the environment can do this, and aging and stress, and anyway, this turns on a gene for your cardiac system. One is for your immune system, one's for your inflammatory system, one's for your digestive system, and one is for your hormone modulation. So it just makes all that work. And another analogy that I love is, it's like the show Extreme Home Makeover, where they take a beat-up old house and they turn it into something really nice in a short amount of time. And there's 2 key components for that. There are all the building materials, and so, your kitchen supplies and your roofing or whatever, and then there are all those nice volunteers who come and provide the labor. Redox signaling molecules is like the labor. And if only 5 people showed up to that show, like, not a lot of work would get done.
Yeah.
So it just makes your body work better.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. So you have a couple things with you. You want to show them for everyone so they can just take a quick look?
Okay, so this is the liquid. This heals you from the inside out. And then this is the topical version, which heals you from the outside in. And this is more concentrated than this. But this is really great for just systemic issues. And I don't know. My personal story is, I started drinking this. I didn't use this at first, and my chiropractor introduced it to me.
Okay.
And he didn't even buy into it at first. He's just like, he's working on me. I was lying on his table, and he's like, hey, Laura, I got this stuff, and I don't like how it tastes, and I think it's about to expire soon, and I don't know if it even works, but you want it? And I was just like, really? Okay, what is it? And he said that it makes my cells more efficient so that they're empowered to work better. Yeah. And so I tried it, and so they say 20% of the people feel something the first month, 50% feel something the second month, and 90% feel something the third month. I felt something within the first few hours, and I felt I had more energy. I was standing up straighter. I slept so well that night, and I thought I was a much nicer mom than I usually am. And I had so much patience. I was amazed with myself that day. And I was like, I like this stuff. I want to keep using it. But then other things that I didn't expect to happen happened. 1 month into it, I realized all my allergies were gone. I used to have an EpiPen. And particularly chocolate was the most dangerous thing for me. Yeah. And it wasn't just if I were to eat it, that wasn't the problem. The problem was if I smelled it. If I walked into a room and somebody had just eaten a chocolate chip cookie, my throat would close up because the little chocolate molecules in their breath would affect me. And so that affected a lot of people. I was the PTA president of the elementary school, and one time I walked in, somebody somewhere was having a cookie, and my throat closed up, and the principal was like, that's it, no more chocolate in the school for a whole year. And I felt so badly to have caused this ban on chocolate for the kids. But after I'd been using this for about a month, I walked into a Walmart, and it was Easter time. And normally if I were about 3 aisles away from the chocolate section, my throat would start to feel funny, my tongue would get fat, and I would think, okay, abort, I gotta get out of here. And this time I was walking, and I found myself nose to nose with an Easter bunny chocolate thing. And I couldn't believe it, and I felt fine. And I took a sniff, and I was okay. And that was the first year my kids ever had chocolate at Easter time. And then I went crazy. Anytime we went out to a restaurant, I'm like, order every single chocolate dessert on the meal, because I had been depriving them for their entire life of the chocolate. So then everybody gained a little weight, and now we're back to normal. And but it doesn't just affect my life; it affects the lives of people around me. So I'm really happy about that. And then something that's even better is I had a condition with my skin, and we don't ever put the name of the illness, because we want to be compliant. We don't want to say this cures anything. So I'll just say the symptoms. I would get these moles that were big and scary, and weird shapes and weird colors and uneven borders, and I would have to go into the hospital every 3 months, and almost every 3 months they would just take a part of my body off with excessive margins and stuff. And so that was my reality for 9 years. And then I was on this for 2 months, and I went in for my checkup, and I just assumed they're going to take something off of me. And they're like, there's nothing to biopsy on you. So that was a big change for me. That's been very nice. And then with my father, he was very skeptical. I think smart people are skeptical, because it sounds too good to be true. My dad called it snake oil, and he said, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I told him, well, it's non-negotiable, Daddy. You at least have to have this in your house in case something happens. And he was grumpy, and he said, well, his pantry was valuable real estate. He really didn't want it, but we went back and forth, and I said, you're having this. And so it lived in his house, and months went by, and then one day he woke up, and I'm his medical advocate, so I get copied on emails that he corresponds with his doctor. And I saw a picture of his foot, and it was big, and it didn't look like a foot. It was purple, and it looked like a big ugly eggplant with toes. And I said, Daddy, put some of this on. And he said, oh, honey, I'm sorry, I don't know what I did with it. And I'm like, oh, Daddy, do you have the spray version? Here's the spray version. It's basically just this poured into a spray bottle. And I said, can you spritz that on your foot? And he said, okay. And he sprayed his foot, and he said, well, you're just not going to believe it, but I can wiggle my toes now. So that was his aha moment. And I said, you see how that heals you from the outside in? Would you just please drink it and heal from the inside out? So he did. And now he's really good. He's youthful. He called me the other day and told me he moved a big rock across the field. Like he normally wouldn't have been able to just move a boulder across his yard, but he did. His hair is growing in so thick because it helps all your cells, and he's actually annoyed about that because he doesn't like to get such frequent haircuts. And then my cousin takes this. He's 60 years old. He is now the second fastest swimmer on his swim team.
Nice.
And he's no longer bald. We used to say he had kind of like a monk's cap,
Mm-hmm.
but now he has a full set of hair. Then there's my husband, who's still entirely bald. So my husband's a little bit bitter about that, but what my husband's really happy about is we haven't had medical bills in the past couple of years since we started this.
Yeah.
And he used to put every month money into the health savings account, and then I would pretty much at that same rate take it out to pay for doctor bills. And we haven't had to use it at all. Just use this.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Awesome.
And we've used it. It's, some people say, well, maybe it's a placebo. I used it on my animals, and they don't know anything about placebos, and it works. Last year my dog came home, and he couldn't put any weight on his leg, and I don't know what he did, but I scooped him up and I brought him to the vet, and she said, all right, we need to do some emergency operation right now, and it's going to cost at least $5,000. It might cost as much as $12,000. I won't know until we open him up, and by the way, be prepared, we might have to amputate. And I said, thanks, but I just want to try something first. And I went home and I just smeared this all over his leg for about a month, and he was fine. No limping now.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's like 12,000. I don't need a dog.
No, I like my dog.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing earlier when you were talking about the chocolate and your children. I'm like, yay! I don't have allergies anymore. Here's diabetes. It's kind of funny. So awesome. So I remember you had said you wanted to do a little test.
Oh yeah.
So
we can do that. A little
yeah.
muscle test to show how it works right away.
Yeah. So let's go get Karen and we'll get that going.
Alrighty. This is going to show how redox signaling molecules can have an immediate effect. And so I'd like to ask you to stick out your arm, be super duper strong, and don't let me push it down. Excellent. And some people say there's a muscle memory, and I just want to show consistency. So really good. Okay. And then can you face me? So we're square off and go like this. I'm going to go up, you push down, and try to just be really stable and strong, and don't take a step backwards.
Step back. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, now do like a dozen squirts in your mouth.
Okay.
I'm sorry about the taste. It doesn't taste that bad.
It doesn't,
but
but it
it's
tastes
not
like
great.
pool.
It sort of tastes like
It's
a swimming pool. Okay, here we go.
No.
Okay, and you see that I'm shaking a little bit there? Okay. So you felt stronger?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay. And your toes are on the ground. And
A
you're
lot.
not taking a step
No.
backwards.
Cool.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing on
Yeah.
camera? Because so people are just like, it's made out of water and salt, and it's true. It's just water and salt. And so there's one website that says it's expensive salt water, and so it's got to be a scam. But really, I mean, they take the salt water, and it was a medical atomic physicist who figured this out, and he started with salt water because that's what your cells have to work with. That's what your little bags your cells are like little bags of salt water. So your mitochondria break down the molecules of salt water, rearrange the atoms, and turn them into the redox signaling molecules. It's kind of like how like diamonds and graphite are 100% carbon, but just the way that they're atomically arranged yield a different product. So it's not expensive salt water.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, pretty cool. So let's get to the end of it. People that want to learn a little more, reach out, find some stuff out, how they get in touch with you.
So my cell phone number is 603-727-2800. You can email me at Laura, Laura, at Rondo, RON as in Nancy, DO, music, music.com. I really should have a Redox kind of name, but it's my husband's in the music industry. I'm just using his his email thing.
Yeah.
So Laura at rondamusic.com or 603-727-2800.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank
This
you
has
so
been a
much,
lot of fun.
Chris. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to be it for today, so everyone be good. That's it for today, everyone, but it doesn't have to end there. Head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or iHeartRadio to get more from New Hampshire's top entrepreneurs.